All right, good morning, everyone. It's 9 a.m., so we are going to go ahead and get started. Is everybody at courtroom 2?
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we're going to get started. This is the state all-purpose calendar in the state court, Fulton County, Georgia. I'm Judge Melanie Williams, and today is Tuesday, August 27th of 2024. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to counsel today. At this calendar today, we will address a variety of matters, including setting bonds, taking pleas, arraigning cases, and handling other matters as necessary. Who do we have first at courtroom 2?
Position number one, Mr. Belcher.
All right, and I have that this is a negotiated plea.
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you. Please proceed, Ms. Faulk. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Ms. Desiano's case.
Oh, all right, Ms. Essiano, please proceed.
Good morning,
Good
Your Honor.
morning.
I've
Good
actually
morning.
never done SAP with you before. How do you do your pleas?
I like a brief summation of the facts, very brief,
Okay,
and then the offer from the state.
okay, thank you. Your Honor, for position one, this incident happened on August 24th of 2023. There was a criminal trespass call at the Shell gas station. The owner of the gas station advised that the defendant had been previously issued a criminal trespass warning, and he was back at the location. The state's recommendation in this case is 12 months probation, served 20 days, credit for time served 10 days. That's from August 23rd to August 24th, 2023. And then August 20th, 2024 to today, balance suspended, stay away from the Shell gas station at 3601 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Northwest. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ty, was that your understanding? And do you stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue?
Yes, we stipulate, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Belcher. Your case is 23 CR 005180Y. In this case, you're charged with criminal trespass. Please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today for the limited purpose of taking this plea will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, I'm gonna ask you some questions just to make sure. You can put your hand down. Thank you. I just want to make sure that the plea you're taking today is something that you wish to do, all right? Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange?
No, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with Mr. Ty's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand by taking a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial by judge or jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're further giving up your right to have the state prove this charge against beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand you can't go back to that Shell gas station?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. But otherwise, the time you serve should close your case. As to the charge of criminal trespass, how do you plead? How do you plead, Mr. Belcher?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional from state or defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Belcher, best of luck to you. Don't go back to that gas station, okay?
Ma'am.
Have a good day.
Just to confirm, the FTA will be dismissed, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Lieutenant Weldon.
Your Honor, we could go to position number 20 and 21.
Okay. Is that, he's also Knights? No, he's not. Is Marcus Johnson?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, and what is the announcement? That one is negotiated plea?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Where's Mr. Johnson?
He's right here. Give me 1 second. So we are here in the hospital here at Grady.
Okay. Is it possible to get him a sheet or a shirt just for the purpose?
He,
I got a gown right here.
yeah, pull your gown. He has it
I
down. He
apologize.
just has it down.
Okay, let's put that on if possible.
Give him a second. He's trying to,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure he's properly clad, all right?
yes, of course. You situated?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, hold on. What's this for? All right, here he is.
My apologies to the court.
All right, that's all right. Thank you for putting that shirt on, Mr. Johnson. Good morning. You're here for two different cases. One is just an FTA. The other one, 24 CR 001125J. You're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property with the offense date of March the 9th of 2024. You have an absolute right to remain silent. You have a right to counsel, and I'm conducting this hearing today by video. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and it's a negotiated plea, so Ms. Desiano, please proceed.
Your Honor, this incident happened March 9th of this year at the CARE headquarters at 151 Ellis Street. The defendant was previously issued a criminal trespass warning for this property and on the incident date was back at the location. And he, while on the property, broke the edge of a flower bed, and that's the basis for count 2. The state's recommending 12 months probation, serve 18 days, credit for time served 9 days. That's August 19th of this year to today, balance suspended, a stay away from the CARE headquarters at 151 Ellis Street Northwest. And then count 2 would be time served, 18 days, credit for time served, 9 days. State would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID for purposes of the plea. Thank you.
So stipulated.
And the CARE headquarters is not like a service provider or a health provider. It's not somewhere he needs to go back to for any reason. Do we know?
It's my
So-
understanding that he does not, Your Honor. He's been trespassed from this location before.
Okay. I just didn't know what it is, if it's like urgent care or something that you might get sick and have to go. All right, please raise your right hand and place you under oath, Mr. Johnson. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah,
All right, put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs and alcohol at this time that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
no,
Did anyone force you to take a plea today, Mr. Johnson?
no,
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
no,
And do you understand that you can't go back to that location?
yes,
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
yes,
And you understand you're giving up your right to trial by judge or jury?
yes,
All right, as to the charges I listed previously, Mr. Johnson, how do you plead?
guilty.
I accept your guilty plea at this time. Is there anything additional from state or defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Johnson, best of luck to you. Heal well, all right?
Thank you.
All right, who do we have next?
I'm sorry, Judge, I just want to confirm that we're putting on the record that the FTAs are being dismissed for, the charge that he took a plea on.
I think
Yes.
so, because it
Position
says-
21 will be not processed. Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we could go to ACDC.
All right, who do we have at ACDC?
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, we can hardly hear you.
Judge, can you hear me?
It's going in and out, but I can hear you sort of.
Sorry about that. The network is real bad. But anyways, this is gonna be number 16, Ms. Henderson.
Okay.
Oh, I have I need
Oh.
another one.
And have defendants at ACDC heard their rights, or were they logged on?
No, not yet, Judge. Yeah, you can read their rights, please. Thank you.
All right, all defendants at ACDC, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney today. And as you can see, I am conducting this hearing by video. When I asked if you understand your rights, that is what I am referring to. All right, Ms. Henderson, your case is 24 CR 005659G. In this case, you are charged with battery. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yes.
Sorry, I wrote in the announcements, I have not, spoken with her.
Okay, is there a number Ms. Atai could call over at ACDC? Is there a phone?
Yes, hold on 1 second, Judge. Let me grab the number.
Okay,
All right, Ms. Holt, are you ready for the number?
Yes.
404 855-8122.
Thank you. I'll call right now.
can
Okay.
we take someone else while we're doing that? Someone that's not Ms. Atai's client?
Ms. Hoda, is all the cases here at ATDC yours?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Okay, that was unfortunate. Can we take somebody at courtroom 2 then?
Yes, we can, Your Honor. We can go to position number 28, Mr. Anthony Miller.
Okay.
What number?
28, Mr. Miller. All right, good morning, Mr. Miller. Your case is 24 CR 0052, I'm sorry, 5623E. And in this case, you're charged with criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights this morning?
I do.
And I have that this is a negotiated plea. Is that still correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Falk, is this yours?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened back on August 10th of 2024. While on patrol at the North Springs Station at 7010 Peachtree Dunwoody Road, Sandy Springs, the officer saw an unidentified male, later identified as the defendant, asleep on the station platform. He did have a permanent ban, which was confirmed by GCIC. The state's recommendation is 12 months, serve 36 days, credit for time served 18 days. From August 10th, 2024 to today, balance suspended, stay away from all MARTA stations. That's due to the permanent ban that's in effect per the report. We would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
So stipulated.
And that was your understanding of the offer?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Miller, please raise your right hand. I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
No,
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
I am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange?
What was that? Did anyone?
Did anyone
call?
promise you anything?
No.
And you understand you're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury?
I agree.
All right. And you understand that you cannot return to any MARTA locations consistent with that permanent ban. Do you understand that, Mr. Miller? Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right. As to the charge of criminal trespass, how do you plead, Mr. Miller?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea at this time. Is there anything additional?
From the defense, Judge.
All right, Mr. Miller, best of luck to you. That concludes your case at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I got into 2 altercations with you and so I'm trying to get ahead of the facts.
Yep.
Are there any other cases we can take?
Yes, Your Honor. We can go to position number position number 46, Mr. Christopher Whitaker.
Whitaker.
Position 46.
Yes,
Jack.
come on, you're right here.
Jack. 46.
All right, Mr. Whitaker, good morning. Your
Morning.
case is 24 CR 005714F. And in this case, you're charged with 2 counts of disorderly conduct. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I have that this is a waiver of arraignment. Is that correct?
I believe he is pleading guilty, Your Honor, but I'll
Oh.
double check.
Okay, or is it a negotiated plea, Ms. Kim? All right. Ms. Falk, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident happened on August 13th, 2024 at 100 Chattahoochee Circle in Roswell. The officers responded to a civil matter. The defendant called and stated he was being illegally evicted from his apartment by the leasing office. However, a short moment later, the leasing office called stating that the defendant had entered the office in a manic state and was yelling in people's faces and acting very oddly. They met with the leasing manager, Mr. William Davis, who stated that they issued the defendant a 3-day notice to vacate for him to move out of his apartment before officially filing the eviction through the court. He entered the leasing office to express his displeasure, began yelling at everyone, yelling at Davis, stating, "I want to fight you. I need to fight somebody." And then the supervisor, Johnny Giraldo, came out and attempted to separate the two of them. He began yelling at Mr. Giraldo too, stating he wanted to fight him. At that point, the officers did take him into custody and he was transported to North Fulton Hospital. The state's recommendation on this case, Your Honor, and count 1 is 12 months served, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days, balance probated, 12-week anger management, stay away from Post and Wander Apartments at 100 Chattahoochee Circle. Count 2 is 12 months served, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days, same amount of time, and that's going to run concurrent with count 1. We would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea. We would like to sound for Mr. William Davis and Johnny Giraldo, if they are present. That's all for the state.
Are either of those parties present, William Davis or Johnny Giraldo? All right, hearing none. Ms. Kim, was that your understanding of the offer? And do you so stipulate as the state has requested?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Whitaker, please raise your right hand. I'm going to ask you some questions. Make sure this is a voluntary plea, okay? Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
Your Honor.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today? Did anyone promise you anything in exchange?
No, Your Honor.
And you understand you're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're also giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
So I did have a civil lawsuit.
Okay, do you want to speak to Ms. Kim?
I already talked to him, so you can talk to me.
So do you understand there won't be any further trials about this charge and about you pleading guilty? Do you understand that and wish to move forward with the plea?
This is only with regard to your criminal case. Doesn't have anything to do with your civil case. Yes, Your Honor.
You do understand that? Okay. And do you further understand that taking a guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as employment, immigration, or probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. As to the charges of disorderly conduct, Mr. Whitaker, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, I will accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional, Ms. Kim, Ms. Falk?
No.
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Whitaker.
You can sign it right.
After, we can go to position number 30, Mr. Daryl Mitchell. Okay.
I think that this one is supposed to be a reset, Mr. Mitchell, is that correct?
Yes,
Or
Your
maybe-
Honor. It has actually been reset to the 29th. There were 3 additional cases that needed to be added to the calendar, but I only saw, I believe, 2 that were added to the calendar. So there are 2 more that needed to be added.
Okay, so there's no offer today.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, so,
We would
All right.
like to be heard on bond.
okay, that's fine. So we'll take up 24 CR 005880J. Defendants charged with simple assault, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct. He's also already on SAP for Thursday. All right, let's proceed. Ms. Falk, let's see, who's here from pretrial? Ms. Tyson, can I have the history, please?
Well, there's an old piece.
I apologize, Your Honor. I don't have a history in the system for him. Ms. Folk, do you have one by any
That's
chance?
all right. We'll defer to Ms. Falk if she has.
Okay.
I
Ms.
do.
Thank you.
It's okay. The defendant has, let's see. It looks like his history is all out of Georgia, Your Honor. He has 12 cycles. The most recent is the case we're here on today. Prior to that, an arrest on May 9th, 2024 for criminal trespass, an arrest on January 24th, 2024 for criminal trespass, an arrest for August 3rd, 2023 for criminal trespass. These are all of the cases that the state then had to accuse and get placed on the calendar for Thursday. An arrest for May 29th of 2023 for criminal trespass, December 29th, 2022 for willful obstruction. That case was dismissed. November 7th of 2022, the defendant was convicted for disorderly conduct and received 12 months probation. Let's see. And February 6th, 2022, it looks like he had a cruelty to children in the second degree, which was placed on not on docket. He also has an 18 CR 010331 case. That's going to be for simple battery, family violence. And let's see what the result of that case was. That case, he was found guilty of simple battery. And his case was terminated April 30th, 2021 for unsuccessful probation.
Yeah.
The cases that are currently need to be placed on the calendar for Thursday, there are 2 cases on the calendar already, but the additional cases, there are 4 cases in total. A criminal trespass from May 9th, 2024. This case, the 05880J case, 24 CR 005937J case, which is criminal trespass and willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, 24 CR 005938J, which is criminal trespass and willful obstruction, and 24 CR 005975J, which is criminal trespass. All of these cases involve the same location, which is, let me just pull that up really quickly. Just go through the facts very briefly. So one happened at the Texaco gas station. Another of these incidents occurred at the park at Morella, which is where most of these incidents occurred, which is 4300 Flat Shoals Road in Union City, including our instant case. So in this case, officers were dispatched to that location, 4300 Flat Shoals Road in Union City, spoke to Tracy Mitchell, who stated she was in a verbal altercation with her brother, Daryl Mitchell. She stated that he was standing outside of the location yelling, and she asked him to quiet his voice, but he stated he would kill her. And then she, being in fear for her life, because this is not the first time he has made threatening statements to her, she called the police. He had been previously criminally trespassed from the location, but kept coming back to the location. And when officers made contact with him, he told the officers, if I end up going to jail, I'll have someone come and beat your ass when I get out, to Miss Mitchell, which then served for the terroristic threats charge. The defendant has, according to the police report, been cited and released on copy of charges from that location approximately 15 to 20 times since January 1st of 2023. So this is a pattern of behavior that does not appear to be stopping anytime soon. The several cases that we have for criminal trespass that were added onto the calendar all involve, with the exception of one, that location. And so for that reason, we ask that the bond remain as set.
What is it currently set at, Ms. Falk? I'm sorry, I might have missed that. What's the current bond?
The current bond, Your Honor, is, on this case, the defendant has a current bond set at $6,000 surety bond,
So 2,000 each count?
3,000 each count, for a total of $6,000. They were originally taken out as a simple assault and a criminal trespass. We added the charge of, I believe, the terroristic threats, the disorderly conduct charge.
Okay, understood. All right, Ms. White.
Okay, Your Honor, this is a simple case. We feel it's a Riverside issue. He was bound over from Union City, wasn't actually given a hearing. And so we're asking for a signature bond. I understand the state listed a whole lot of stuff and a bunch of it multiple occasions to make it sound like it's more than it is. Also, Mr. Mitchell states that the address in question is where he lives. Not all of them, but some of them are where he actually lives and or works. Okay. But be that as it may, he's been in jail since the 12th without a proper hearing. We feel that's a Riverside issue. The other outstanding cases, he's all out on bond. He hasn't missed any court appearances on them. He plans on coming to court for this one. He has a lot of support in the community, lots of family, including 2 daughters, both parents and siblings. So we don't think he's a flight risk at all. So we're asking you to be allowed to sign his own bond.
As to the Riverside issue, he was booked in when on these charges?
The 12th.
Okay.
And then it was bound over, Your Honor. And so on a bind over, he has a first appearance in municipal court, and then it's bound over to state court. So he did have a first appearance, even if he didn't have a first appearance in this courtroom. There is no requirement that he have a first appearance here as well.
We're not arguing that he has to have one here. We're arguing that they typically and quite often these bindovers from municipalities don't include a judge. They don't give them what's going on, and they just say, we're binding your case over. Here's a bond.
Are we speaking in generalities, or do you have proof in this particular case?
We are speaking in generalities, but we don't have any proof otherwise in this case. And the burden is on the state. Thanks.
Not on Riverside. The burden is if
Okay,
you're arguing
before we go there, did he actually have a first appearance at Union City or no?
He told me he did not see a judge.
He did not see a judge in Union City?
That's correct. That's it.
Hold on. I forgot to sound for the victim too. Is Miss Mitchell here and wishes to make a statement? Okay, I want to look at one thing. Give me a second to check my own Odyssey, which is very slow. Okay, it's coming. Hold on. And he's made bond on the other cases that are on Thursday's SAP?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't see the initial. Ms. Strong, maybe you can help me. I'm trying to find the initial bond order to see. Okay, hold on.
Are you talking about for a case
24 CR 0058880J.
Right, I'm trying to see
It's a bind over case, so it's under the jail screen,
jail,
under
the
the,
jail tab. I'm trying to find myself.
yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Thank you,
Under the
Ms.
jail tab, then click on documents, and then you'll see the
I'm
Union City
reading.
bind over package.
All right. I understand that Ms. Falk, and the information that you have is that that the victim still resides at that location?
Yes, Your Honor. And what I'm seeing there is a peace bond that I'm looking at, a peace bond order, where it says stay away from Tracy Mitchell and Luvinia Mitchell at 4300 Flat Shoals Road, signed by the Honorable Judge Ronald Freeman,
I
Chief
see
Judge,
that
Union
myself.
City Municipal Court. And then under it, refused to sign by Officer McDaniels at the jail.
All right, so it does seem to me, Mr. White, this, just from what I'm looking at, I've seen cases where it seems like the person has no first appearance at all, and this doesn't look like one of those instances to me. I'm looking, because I've seen, it looks different. So you're saying he did not go to court, he didn't have anything, Mr. White?
Just reiterated to me, this is the first time you've seen a judge since the case started.
And this paperwork says refused 8/14/24.
Right, it sounds like this doesn't look like the ones where they didn't do anything. So
I don't know what refused means. Typically,
usually if they just set a preset bond without seeing anybody at all or taking you somewhere, it just says preset. It doesn't look like this, Mr. White. I don't think that I'm seeing enough here to find that this is a Riverside issue. I am going to reduce his bond. It'll be 1,000 on each count. I am going to order that stay away from the location if the victim resides there. He can return with law enforcement to make that determination. If the victim is no longer there, he can return, and he needs to have no contact with Ms. Mitchell. And
I mean, Judge, I'm sorry. Can I ask a question?
I'm listening, Mr. White.
I heard you the first time. So our understanding is that the bond was a no further violent contact. Is that correct?
No, this one says no contact.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. White. And I do understand your position, but this one doesn't look like the ones where they've done nothing. And I've seen some where they've done nothing, and I can't prove otherwise, but I do appreciate your advocacy and I do understand your position. All right. All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Mitchell. Who do we have next?
Judge, going back to position number 16, Ms. Henderson.
Okay. All right, Ms. Henderson, you understand your rights today? We've already gone through your case number.
Ma'am.
All right, Ms. Atai, what is your announcement?
Your Honor, it's a plea, but I would like to request that the 12-week anger management.
Oh, it's a non-negotiated plea, Ms. Atai? Okay. All right, let me hear the history then. Ms. Tyson, can I have Ms. Henderson, position 16, if 3, please?
Yes, Your Honor, we have, let's see, 16 arrest cycles beginning in 2001. Last arrest, let's see, 1 moment. 6, 8, 12. Looks like last arrest was in Union City, June 28th, 2023. Simple battery, terroristic threats and acts, and simple assault. Disposition on the GCIC states that the case was transferred to state court. Let's see. She has a previous misdemeanor conviction for simple battery, battery family violence, first offense, 2 counts. Disposition date on that case is June 24th of 2022, and that's out of Clayton County. She does have a failure to appear from 2018. There's another misdemeanor conviction from 2017 for marijuana possession less than 1 ounce. Out of Fulton County. It's another misdemeanor conviction from 2016 out of East Point for marijuana possession less than 1 ounce. So the misdemeanor conviction out of Fairburn Municipal Court from 2008, Your Honor. Nothing to add.
Thank you, Ms. Tyson. Please proceed, Ms. Ethiano.
Your Honor, may I inquire, Ms. Atai, is she pleading to the add-on as well, 23 CR 4318G?
Yes, she does. Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I believe, I can't confirm, I haven't seen an open FTA, but there is an open case that's the add-on, that's 23 CR 004318. It's battery, terroristic threat, simple assault, and simple battery against a law enforcement officer. That is in bench warrant status. I will confirm if there's an active FTA, and that will be null prost if she pleads to that. For position number 16, this is an incident that happened on August 12th, 2024. Officers responded to a fight in progress at 227 Peachtree Street. When officers arrived on scene, MARTA police were there and had the defendant detained. The MARTA officer advised that he witnessed the defendant with a stick in her hand, and the victim was in the bushes. The victim in this case is Nafisa Johnson. She stated she was sitting down when the defendant approached her and accused her of sleeping with her boyfriend and leaving wipes by her belongings. She advised that the defendant jumped on her and began to strike her in the face, and then used a stick to hit her in the leg, so she ran into the bushes for protection. The defendant admitted to police that she hit the victim with her hands, but denied using the stick because she said she tried to hit her with the stick but could not reach her with the stick. The victim had scratches to her face. In the second case, Your Honor, 23 CR 004318G, this is an incident that happened on June 28th of last year. Officers were dispatched to the Quick Trip at 4745 State Route 138 in Union City regarding a fight. The victim in this case is another random person. It's Christina Johnson. She stated that the defendant followed her into the bathroom, accusing her of stepping on her feet. She tried to walk away and the defendant followed her. The victim ended up throwing a drink in her face to get her away from her, kept walking. The defendant picked up a big stick and pushed her to the ground and caused a laceration to her knees. And then and threatened to kill. She was placing the officer was placing her in the patrol car, and she threatened to kill him. That's the basis for the terroristic threats. The state is recommending for the first case, Your Honor, 12 months probation, served 32 days, credit for time served 16 days. That's from August 12th, 2024 to today. Balance probated, no further contact with Nafisa Johnson, an MHET or BHET, 12 weeks of anger management, and no firearms. I will note that Judge Law did order a BHET in for her bond already, so that may have already happened. And if so, that would satisfy the requirement. For the add-on case, Your Honor, 23 CR 4318G, the state's recommending on count 1, the battery, 12 months probation, serve 86 days, credit for time served 43 days, balance probated, no further contact with Christina Johnson, a stay away from that Quick Trip at 4745 State Route 138 in Union City. On count 2, the terroristic threats, 12 months probation concurrent with count 1. Count 3, simple assault, 12 months probation concurrent with count 1. And count 4, the simple battery against a law enforcement officer, 12 months probation concurrent with count 1. No further violent contact with law enforcement. And all of that would run concurrent with the first case, Your Honor, 24 CR.
Understood. Okay, Mrs. Ty, your objection to that recommendation is?
Your Honor, it's that, and I do believe she has had the MHET. She has been in custody for 16 days this time, and she states that she anyway is receiving care for MH, and she doesn't receive any disability benefits. She is homeless. She's 42 years old. She tells me that she's on hold for an apartment at 10 Park Place. She's just not in a position to complete 12 weeks of anger management, and those classes are, even if she can find it for $25 each class, that's still over $300, and she just doesn't have the funds to do that. The MHET I mean, she can continue with any mental health, treatment and, you know, if she still needs the, I don't think she needs the MHET, so I would just ask to drop the, 12 weeks of anger management.
Okay,
And also, of course, I'm asking for all the probation fees to be waived for 12 months.
okay. If defendant takes the plea today, I will waive the requirement of the anger management, but I will require her to do the MH. Does she
Okay.
want to take the plea?
Yes.
Ma'am, I plead guilty.
Well, not yet, ma'am, not yet.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right, and I will waive, she's not gonna have any requirements. I'm gonna require her to report to probation the entire time, Ms. Atai, but I will waive the fees, okay? So she needs to go to probation every month, but she won't have to pay when she gets there. So for 12 months, she will have to report. She's not going non-reporting, okay?
Thank you.
All right, please raise your right hand, Ms. Henderson. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
No.
Did anyone force or coerce you to take a plea today?
No.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with Ms. Atai's representation today?
Yes.
And do you understand that you're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury?
Yes.
And you understand the requirements that you can't have any further contact with either Ms. Nafisa Johnson or Christina Johnson, and you cannot return to that location in Union City? Do you understand all of that?
Yes.
And you're gonna be required to report to probation the entire time and undergo some evaluations. You understand that as well, Ms. Henderson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I did not sound for Ms. Nafisa Johnson or Ms. Christina Johnson. Are either of those parties here and wish to make a brief statement? All right, hearing none. How do you plead the charge of guilty, Ms. Henderson? I'm sorry, how do you plead the charge of battery?
Guilty.
All right, I accept your guilty plea at this time. Is there anything additional, Ms. Desiano or Ms. Atari?
Nothing.
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
I have a question, Judge. So MHET, but no anger management, correct?
Correct.
Judge, I have
We can't hear you. I'm so sorry. Say it again.
Judge, I have an announcement for number 1 and 2, add-on Valdez. We need a Spanish interpreter.
Okay, can we get interpretation, please? And I don't know that I have the add-on calendar. That's not good. Let me go back. Ms. Strong, will you resend me the add-on?
Sure.
Thank you. And will we have interpretation today? I'm sure we can probably get somebody in a moment. Who do we have now while we're working on interpretation?
This is gonna be number 3 and 4, Ms. Brady.
All right. Good morning, Ms. Brady. Your case is you have an FTA, and you also have case 24 CR 001363A. You're charged with criminal trespass in this case. Do you understand your rights this morning? Is that a yes? All right. I have that this is a negotiated plea. Is that still correct?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Desiano, please proceed.
Your Honor, this incident took place on March 22nd, 2024 at the 76 Circle gas station at 74 Northside Drive in Atlanta. The defendant was issued a criminal trespass warning on March 5th, 2024, and on the incident date of March 22nd, she returned and was refusing to leave. The security guard on scene tried to get her to leave peacefully, and when she refused, he called the police. The state's recommending 12 months probation, serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance suspended, a stay away from the 76 Circle gas station at 74 Northside Drive. And we'd ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID for purposes of the plea. Thank you.
You so stipulate, Mr. Ty? And that was your understanding of the offer? All right. Can we unmute Ms. Brady so I can ask her some questions? Ms. Brady, please raise your right hand. Do you swear, oh, she's still muted. Can we unmute her? ACDC, can we unmute Miss Brady? Thank you. All right, Miss Brady, do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Guilty.
All right, thank you. You can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone force or coerce you to take a plea?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
And you understand that by taking a plea, you're giving up your right to trial by judge or jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And you further understand you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
And taking a guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as employment, probation, immigration. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand you cannot go back to that gas station on Northside Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as to the charge of criminal trespass, how do you plead, Ms. Brady?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional, Ms. Desiano or Ms. Atai?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and we're now processing position 4, correct, Ms.
Yes.
Desiano? All right, best of luck to you, Ms. Brady. That
Last
concludes.
question. Am I gonna say? Am I going home?
If you don't have any other holds, Ms. Brady, this case is no longer holding you in the Fulton County Jail and you should be released, okay? Take care.
Next, Judge, we have number 18 and 19, Johnson.
All right.
And Your Honor, this is a negotiated plea.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Ms. Johnson. Your case is 22 CR 004443A. In this case, you're charged with attempting to misrepresent the tag and receiving stolen property. And the other case is an FTA. Do you understand your rights today? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Ms. Desiano, please proceed.
Your Honor, this incident took place on June 4th of 2020. There was a traffic stop initiated based on the officer ran a tag and it came back to a 1999 GMC Sierra belonging to a different individual. This was affixed to a 2007 Ford Escape. When the police informed the defendant about the tag, she claimed that she had bought the vehicle with that tag on it. The police then were in touch with the person who sold the vehicle to her. His name is Mr. Gary Lewis. He states that there was no tag on the vehicle when it was purchased. He did confirm that he removed his license plate from the vehicle prior to the sale, Your Honor. And then there was a theft report that was done where it reported that the license plate was stolen 3 days prior from another vehicle. That's the basis for the factual basis for the plea, Your Honor. State's recommending on count 1, time served 24 days, credit for time served 12 days. And then on count 2, Your Honor, the state and defense have negotiated a little bit this morning. It's 12 months probation, served 24 days, credit for time served 12 days, balance suspended, no further contact with Miss Crystal West. And I'd ask the court to sound for Miss West when appropriate, and we'd ask this defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID for purposes of the plea. Thank you.
And you're deleting the anti-theft course?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sounding for Ms. West. Is Ms. West present? All right, hearing that, Ms. Atai, that was your understanding of the offer and you've already stipulated, correct?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Johnson, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
And you understand that taking a guilty plea, you're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And you further understand that accepting a guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as employment or immigration or probation, or things I may not be able to anticipate.
Yes, ma'am.
And you further understand you can't have any contact with Ms. West?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as to the charges of attempting to misrepresent a tag and theft by receiving, how do you plead, Ms. Johnson?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional, Ms. Desiano or Ms. Atai?
Your Honor, just for the record, position 19, the FTA will be null pros, nothing further.
All right, thank you. Ms. Atai, anything additional?
Nothing additional.
All right, best of luck to you, Ms. Johnson. That concludes your case.
Thank you. Judge, next we have number 42, Ms. Sullivan, but Ms. Hoda, your client, Ms. Sullivan, wants to talk with you.
Okay. Should
Okay.
I?
So can we do something else, or are we gonna be on hold while she speaks to Ms. Atai?
We're gonna be on hold.
Okay, I'm gonna go print the add-on calendar.
Do you have anybody?
That you haven't met a big action. What's his name? Almost. I don't know. Blunt.
Big, yeah.
Yeah, position number 49, Williams.
Well, we can do.
Patrick, okay.
Are we, oh, I left it. All right, let's please proceed. Who do we have next?
Position number 49, Williams.
Okay. Okay, he's gonna bring them in.
All right. I was
So you
thinking
just
not
take
go.
me if that's easy.
All right. All right, Mr. Williams, this is Mr. Patrick Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Williams. Your case is 24 CR 005637G. In this case, you're charged with criminal trespass. You have an absolute right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and I'm conducting this hearing by video. Do you understand all of that today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And the announcement I have is that this is a guilty plea.
Your Honor, negotiated plea.
All right, thank you. Whose case is this for this? Oh, is Ms. Desiano present? Not you, Ms. Kim, I need a seat. Oh,
Your Honor, this is Ms. Fogg's case. We're at position 49.
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ms. Falk, are you back? It might be my fault. I took a break to get the add-on calendar printed. We're gonna hold one moment.
I'm back.
All right, that's okay. It took me a moment to get my printer to print, and I left the paper. All right, we're taking up position 49, the negotiated plea of Mr. Williams.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation in this case is 12 months served, 36 days, credit for time served 18 days. That is going to be from August 10th of 2024 to today. Balance suspended. Stay away from the Chevron gas station at 1217 Metropolitan Parkway Southwest in Atlanta. The facts of this case are that on August 10th of 2024, the defendant was at the 1217 Metropolitan Parkway gas station, Chevron. The employee wanted him off the property. He had been previously given a criminal trespass warning on June 3rd, 2024, at which point he was detained and placed under arrest. The state would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID for the purposes of this plea.
Yes, Your Honor, we stipulate.
All right, and that was your understanding of the offer, time served, and stay away from the gas station?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Williams, I'm gonna ask some questions to make sure this is a voluntary plea. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony given today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
And you understand that taking a guilty plea, you're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're giving up the right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that taking a guilty plea can affect other aspects of your life, such as employment, probation, immigration, things that me or your attorney may not be able to anticipate?
Yes, ma'am.
And you further understand you cannot go back to that gas station on Metropolitan Parkway?
Yes, ma'am.
As to the charge of criminal trespass, Mr. Williams, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea at this time. Is there anything additional, Ms. Kim, Ms. Falk?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Falk, I hope you feel better. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
All right, who do we have at ACDC?
This is gonna be number 42, Sullivan.
All right, and what was the announcement? Is it still waiver of, is it still not guilty plea?
Your Honor, would the state be willing to consider a time served or something closer to time?
Not based on the history, no.
Okay, Your Honor, so it's gonna be a not guilty, and with a bond argument.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Sullivan, your case is 24 CR 005667F. You're charged with battery and disorderly conduct. We're gonna hold a bond hearing for you today. Ms. Tyson, can I please have the history for Ms. Sullivan at position 42?
Yes, Judge. Let's see. We have 37 arrest cycles beginning in 2001. Last arrest was in DeKalb County, December 11th, 2023, and that was for failure to appear. It appears she has a pending felony theft by shoplifting in DeKalb County. That arrest date was August 28th of 2023. No disposition is listed on the GCIC for that case. There's a misdemeanor conviction for simple assault out of DeKalb County from December of 2023. Let's see, simple assault, criminal trespass, Your Honor. And that's from December 2023. She has another misdemeanor conviction out of DeKalb County for simple assault, family violence, and criminal trespass. That's also from December 2023. We have a another misdemeanor conviction for simple assault of family violence out of DeKalb County. And that's from February of 2024. We have a misdemeanor theft by shoplifting out of DeKalb County from December of 2015. We have a criminal trespass out of Fulton County from May of 2014. And an interference with custody first or second conviction, that's out of DeKalb County. It's outside the 10-year period. That's from September of 2013. Nothing to add, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Falk. Please proceed.
So, Your Honor, the Judge Law on August 13th, 2024 granted a $3,000 surety bond, $2,000 on the battery, $1,000 on the disorderly conduct with no further contact with Cynthia Gist, and stay away from 29 Moreland Avenue. The incident that happened on August 12th was officers responded to a call at 1124 Wiley Street Southeast regarding two females who were arguing with each other. The officers were able to see the two individuals in a physical altercation. Miss Gist had multiple lacerations to her head and was bleeding. She stated that the defendant and her baby's father had been arguing near the gas station at 29 Moreland, and the defendant began screaming at her, accusing her of sleeping with the father of her child, brandished a knife, and the argument continued. The officers did observe a knife on the ground where the altercation occurred. They also were able to get video footage. It showed the two in a verbal argument. The defendant then advanced on Miss Gist, and the two of them got into a physical altercation. The officers, which went behind a fence out of view of the camera and then came back in front of the fence, at which point the officer was present and then separated them. The officer stated that he did not see the knife being used in the altercation, but they did, in fact, find a knife on the ground where the altercation occurred, which gave credence to Miss Gist's statement. The reason the state asked for, the reason we believe the bond was set at $3,000 is not only because of this defendant's history of assaults, which she has pled guilty to in the past, but she also had an FTA out of DeKalb County within the last, I believe, year, according to pretrial services, which also was the basis, the failure to appear on December 11th of 2023 out of DeKalb County, as well as the fact that she had been previously convicted of criminal trespass. Let's see, simple assault, family violence, as well as simple assault, family violence within the last, it was 6 months. So one of her family simple assault family violence was February 5th, 2024, which she got 61 days in jail. And the second subsequent simple assault family violence was December 20th of 2023, where she got 12 months with 10 days confinement. And then there was a previous, let's see, theft by shoplifting in 2015, as well as it looks like another simple assault family violence where she received, no, that was the same one, the one where she received 61 days in jail. And so the state's recommendation is that the bond remain as set. There is clearly the IALA factors of likelihood of reoffense here, as well as the likelihood she will not appear for court due to that recent FTA. That's all for the state. We would like to sound for Miss Cynthia Gist, if she is here today.
All right, is Ms. Gist present and wishes to make a statement? All right, Ms. Atai?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know about a February 2024 simple assault family violence. I saw that the last arrest was December 2023 for an FTA, and that's what pretrial stated as well. So I'm not sure about that. I guess it's in DeKalb County, or I'm not sure, but if her last arrest was December 2023, then I would question a February simple assault.
Well,
Your Honor,
just to clarify, Ms. Atai, I'm not going by arrest dates. I'm going by her sentence date. So she was sentenced on that case on February 5th of 2024, even though she was arrested on that case November 9th of 2020.
Okay, so an old case, and it's simple assault. I would like to point that out too. So, yes, there's some violent history, but it's all simple assault, not a battery like what she's charged with here. In this case, it sounds like, I mean, and it states in the warrant that there were two females arguing with each other and they began fighting. It didn't say that my client began attacking the complaining witness. I think it's a two-sided thing. I'm not sure if the complaining witness was arrested as well. But I would like to ask for a signature bond through pretrial services, even if it's at level 4. She has struggled with homelessness. She's 41 years old. She does have 2 children, a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old who's autistic. She states that her father, she lives with her parents, and her father is, and her brother and sister-in-law have been taking care of these 2 children. She does receive treatment for MH issues, and she really needs to get out of jail. What's changed between first appearance and now is that she sat in jail for 16 days. I think at this point, it is appropriate to give her a signature bond through pretrial services, even if it's at level 4, nothing further.
All right, I'm gonna keep the surety bond, but I will reduce it some. On count 1, the battery will be a $500 surety bond. Count 2, disorderly will be a $500 to make a total of $1,000 good bond with the same conditions that previously existed. All right, is there anything? Go ahead, Mr. Chair.
Well, I would ask for just a $500 surety bond because the state, I know it's a plea offer, but was considering time served for the disorderly conduct, so.
If I do, you're asking for 500 total. If I do, most companies won't bond her at 500 total. So I think 1,000 is more appropriate. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Is there anything additional?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
Judge, I got number 42, Sullivan.
Isn't that
That's who we just addressed.
just finished?
Okay, I'm sorry. I had stepped away from the
That's okay.
Judge, any updates on our Spanish interpreter case?
Not yet, Ms. Strong.
He's speaking with someone at the moment.
We're working on it.
On jail court I-4, I have position number 17, Mr. Johnson.
I'm sorry, position 17?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, good morning, Mr. Johnson. Your case is 24 CR 005708Y. You're charged with 2 counts of criminal trespass and damage to property. You have an absolute right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And I'm conducting this hearing today by video. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. The announcement I have for this one is negotiated plea. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Ms. Desiano.
Your Honor, this incident took place July 14th, 2024. Officers were dispatched to a dispute at 1253 Easton Street. The caller and the victim in this case is Asua Johnson. She's the defendant's mother. She stated that her son kicked in her front door and then damaged drywall in her home. She states that the defendant had some substance abuse issues and he was essentially on her front porch because he had nowhere else to go. He tried to gain entry. She told him no. And then shortly after, he kicked in the door, told her that he wished that she was dead, and then kicked a hole in her drywall by the kitchen. The victim had to grab a knife, and eventually the defendant left. Your Honor, the state's recommending in this case 12 months probation, served 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, no further violent contact with Asua Johnson, a stay away from Ms. Johnson's residence, however, at 1253 Easton Street, an ADET 12 weeks of anger management, no firearms, and restitution open for 30 days. On count 2, 12 months probation concurrent with count 1, and restitution open for 30 days. If the court can sound for Ms. Johnson, and the state would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID for purposes of the plea. Thank you.
You so stipulate, Mr. White, was that your understanding?
Yes, we do stipulate, Judge, and that is our understanding.
All right, is Ms. Johnson present and wishes to make a statement? All right, hearing none, sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No.
And you are satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes.
And you understand that taking a plea today, there'll be no further court dates. You're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury?
Yes.
And you understand that taking a guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as employment or immigration or probation?
Yes, ma'am.
And you further understand the requirements that you cannot go back to that location on Easton Street, and you have no further violent contact with Ms. Johnson. You understand that as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. As to the charges of criminal trespass and damage, how do you plead, Mr. Johnson?
Guilty. No.
Wait, was it guilty?
Guilty.
Which one is it? Is it guilty?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional, Mr. Essiano or Mr. White?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you. That concludes your case.
Judge,
Can I ask a question?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you know how long it'll take for the paperwork to reach the jail so I can go?
I don't know, but they're gonna start working on it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, take care, Mr. Johnson. Have a good day.
Thank you too, ma'am. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
All right, you take care. Best of luck. We don't want to see you back here. Don't do nothing now. All right.
Yes, thank you.
All right, who do we have next?
Judge, I have
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I do have a quick question for Ms. Hoda. If she can give me a call. I'll call.
she'll call you in just a second.
Okay, thank you.
Who else is at jail for iPhone?
We have position number 39, Mr. Spalding.
Okay. And was someone else saying something else? Was that you, Ms. Essiano?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I thought anyone else was asking a question? No. Okay. Let's take up position 39. Your case, Mrs. Spalding, is 24 CR 004612D. In this case, you're charged with theft by shoplifting. You understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and the announcement I have, it doesn't, possible negotiated plea, so not negotiated?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I've been trying to break in. This is Mrs. Ty's case, and she's on the phone with ACDC.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. White. I should have asked.
Right.
Is there anybody else we can take while Mr. Ty is on the phone or no?
Yeah, we have Mr. Brown right here, position number 5.
You said 5? That's also Mrs. Ty's case?
I do that either.
All right, what about position 22 through 27, Mr. Maxey?
This is me. I'm Mr. Maxey.
Mr. Maxby was supposed to be brought down here. I was unable to speak with him because they could not locate him.
Yes.
So did you want him down in the courtroom?
That's me right here.
That was my understanding. I mean, hold on a second, Norris.
Good morning, Your Honor. I do have 2 people on the calendar, Mr. Carter and Mr. Watson.
We can do Ms. McLeod's cases.
Well, I haven't spoken to Mr. Watson yet, but I have spoken to Mr. Carter, and it's going to be a negotiated plea this morning.
Okay.
Goldie, can you bring Magsby down, please?
All right, yeah, let me do the other 2 positions and I'll bring him down.
Get out.
Okay, we'll still be, are Ms. McLeod's positions are they at the courtroom? No.
One is, well, one was, Your
Or is
Honor,
the
Mr.
wait?
Carter, when I spoke to him earlier. I have not yet spoken with Mr. Watson, so I do need to speak with him.
Okay, but I don't think either of them are there, are they? Is Mr. Watson there for Ms.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, he is. Can Ms. McLeod give a courtroom a call? Or Mr.
Wait,
Tyson?
Not Watson. Watson is on the floor. I was speaking on the behalf of Carter.
Oh, so we can do Carter?
Yes, we can.
Okay. And Carter is a negotiated plea, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, wonderful. Where is Mr. Carter? Is he at jail court iPhone?
No, he's in courtroom too.
Okay.
Is jail court iPhones Miss Ty's cases?
That's Mr. Ty's case, so we couldn't do that one yet. So we're gonna do Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter, your case is 23 CR 0055955Y. You're charged with obstruction, public drunkenness, and simple battery. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Mathisayano, please proceed.
Your Honor, this incident took place September 15th of 2023. Officers were transporting another inmate and they witnessed what they described as a startling event that unfolded on Peachtree Street. The officers, this is a dual arrest case, Your Honor. The officers saw the cross defendant punch the defendant in the head and then drag the defendant's lifeless body into the street. The cross defendant was rummaging through the defendant's pant pockets. The defendant began to come to and began to defend himself, but he was incoherent, likely from being hit in the head. The cross defendant was very agitated and erratic and tried to flee the scene. The police tased him and detained him. And while the cross defendant was on the ground and subdued in handcuffs, what the officers described that all of a sudden the defendant sprang to life and approached the cross defendant and just started repeatedly beating him. Officers described the encounter as chaotic. They said the defendant was actively resisting and persistently trying to rise from the ground and renew his assault on the cross defendant. The officers detained the defendant and he resisted arrest. They noted that he had a very strong scent of alcohol on his breath and he was yelling obscenities at the officers, calling them N-words and F-you and things of that nature. The state is recommending in this case, Your Honor, on the willful obstruction, time served, on the public drunk count 2, time served, and on count 3, the simple battery, 12 months probation, serve 18 days, credit for time served 9 days, balance probated, ADET, no further violent contact with Justin Lambert, 8 weeks of anger management, and no firearms. We'd ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and ID for purposes of the plea, and if the court can sound for Mr. Lambert. Thank you.
Do you so stipulate, Ms. McLeod, and was that your understanding of the offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is Mr. Lambert present and wishes to make a statement? All right, hearing none. Mr. Carter, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No.
And did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No.
And you understand you're giving up your right to trial by judge or jury?
Yes.
And you understand the requirements, including that you'll have to take an 8-week anger management course, undergo an evaluation, have no contact with Mr. Lambert, but otherwise the time that you served in the Fulton County Jail should close your case. You understand that?
Yes.
All right, as to the charges I previously listed, Mr. Carter, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Ms. Desiano, will we be now pressing position 7?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything additional from state or defense?
Your Honor, I would ask the court to waive the probation fees for my client for the first 3 months, Your Honor, and also that his probation could terminate or at the very minimum become non-reporting once he's completed all those requirements.
All right, I'm gonna give him 2 months of fees since it's only an anger management course. He'll get that waiver during that time, but once he's completed, he can go non-reporting. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Carter. That concludes your case.
Judge, I do have a quick announcement
Okay,
for Mr. Valdez, the Spanish interpreter case. I was gonna ask you if it's okay that we reset him. I did speak with Ms. Hoda. She said that it is okay for him to be reset.
okay, what position was that?
That's gonna be add-on 1 and 2, Mr. Valdez.
Okay, and he didn't have a time served offer, correct?
He does have a time served offer, Your Honor, but I don't think that these cases are holding him, and he actually has court at 9:30.
That is
for-
correct, and that's the court calendar that I have to attend, so we're kind of
Okay,
behind on that.
we'll reset him, all right?
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, take care, have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
So we don't need interpreter anymore, is that correct, Mr. Ty?
Yes.
All right, so with that case reset, we don't need to tell them never mind, but thank you.
Yeah, we will for the reset date. When is the reset date for him?
When were you asking him to be reset, Mr. Ty?
Tuesday?
Is there room on Tuesday's calendar?
I think there's actually room on Thursday's calendar, the 29th.
Let's see, Ms. Strong? Can we reset it to Thursday?
I'm sorry, I stepped away. Who are we talking
Is
about?
it the gentleman who needs interpretation?
Oh,
We're gonna
sure,
reset that
I'll
case.
reset it. That's fine.
All right, so tell them we don't need interpretation. That case will be set Thursday, but we will need interpreter on Thursday. And I know it's typically harder to get interpreters on Thursday, though. I warn you, we have better luck on Tuesday. Thursday, they're usually in Superior Court, but if we request now.
Excuse me, Judge, the interpreter is signing on now.
Tell her never mind.
Oh,
Well,
she's
I'll tell her
signing on
never
there.
mind.
I mean, well, Judge, I mean, that's fine. I'll still just attend the other calendar late, but
Okay, so
we're
can we
already
do-
late. So we can go
Okay.
ahead if he's already,
If
he
she's already
signed on.
here?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine.
What's the announcement for the interpretation case?
I haven't interviewed him.
Oh, so we're gonna reset it. We're already behind, okay? I'm sorry. Ms. Chancey, we're gonna reset you for Thursday. Please, put us on your calendar to say that we need you Thursday for this position. Okay.
SAP, I will be here. I'll put it on my calendar too, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Essiano, I'm just making sure there was no time served offer for this case.
Señor, no hubo una oferta por tiempo servido en este caso.
I just want to make sure these cases are not you're sure they're not holding him, Mr. Ty, before I reset?
I actually looked at the jail screen, Your Honor. It looks like there's a robbery, a battery, and obstruction of an officer under 24 SC 003787 that's holding him, as well as an FTA and a foreign hold.
All right, so Thursday reset will not result in any prejudice, okay? So we will see him on Thursday, and Ms. Chancey will see you on Thursday as well.
Ya, señor, se lo va a postergar su audiencia hasta el jueves y yo estaré aquí también.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
ACDC can be excused. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Would you like me to make an announcement, Your Honor?
There's really no one to hear, I don't think. Was there anybody, are we aware of any other positions that needed interpretation before I let Ms. Chancey go? Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Take care.
You're
Ms.
welcome. Have a good day, Your Honor.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, we have position number 5, Mr. Brown.
All right, Mr. Brown, your case is 24 CR 005860H. You're charged with loitering and prowling. You have an absolute right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and I'm conducting this by video. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, I see possible negotiated plea. What does that mean? Is this non-negotiated?
No, Your Honor, it's going to be a negotiated plea.
All right, thank you. Ms. Essiano, please proceed.
And Your Honor, for the record, count 1, loiter and prowl has been amended to criminal trespass. And
Okay.
that amended accusation has been accepted by the clerk. This incident happened on July 8th, 2024. While in the presence of Officer Collins, the defendant was found on the Business Park property of 7490 Old National Highway. He was sleeping, he was woken up and issued a loitering warning and instructed to leave the premises, and he was back on the property on July 8th. While the officer was trying to get the defendant into the patrol car, he spit in his face and eyes, and that's the basis for the simple battery. The state's recommending on count 1, 12 months probation, concurrent with count 2, stay away from that business park at 7490 Old National Highway in Riverdale. Count 2, 12 months probation, serve 94 days, credit for time served 47 days. That's July 12th, 2024 to today. Balance probated, no further violent contact with the officer Halton, 8 weeks of anger management, and no firearms. We'd ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and ID for purposes of the plea, and if Your Honor can sound for Officer Halton, thank you.
All right, so you so stipulate, Mr. Ty, and that was your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor, and I would like to ask for part of the probation fees to be waived. He has recently lost his job and was struggling with homelessness. So I would ask for.
I'll consider. I'm sounding for Officer Halton at this time. All right, hearing none. Sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today for the limited purpose of taking this plea will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, I'm not.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, they didn't.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, they didn't.
And you are aware that by taking the plea, you're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury?
Yes, I am.
And you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
And you understand that taking a guilty plea may affect aspects of your life that I can't anticipate, such as employment, probation, or immigration, things of that nature?
Oh, yes, okay.
All right. As the charges are previously listed, Mr. Brown, do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. I will waive 2 months of probation, and once he completes the requirements, he can go non-reporting. Is there anything additional from state or defense?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
What's your question, Mr. Brown?
No, I was wondering, am I getting released today?
They're gonna start processing you. If you don't have other holds, you should be released shortly, but I can't tell you how quickly it'll be, all right?
It'll be today. All right, thank you.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Next we have position number 30, is it 39, Mr. Spalding? 30.
All right, we had already gone through, and Mr. Spalding told me he understood his rights earlier. What is the announcement for this case that says possible negotiated?
Yes, this is a negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Falk, is this your case?
It is, Your Honor. The state's recommendation on this is 12 months served 98 days. So there is a modification from our previous recommendation. 98 days served 49 days. That's going to be from July 10th, 2024 until today. Balance suspended, balance probated. Stay away from the Macy's located at 3393 Peachtree Road, an anti-theft course, 40 hours of community service, and a $500 fine. This case happened at the Macy's at 3393 Peachtree Road. Loss prevention had seen the defendant on multiple cameras taking merchandise and placing the items in a book bag that he brought with him. They also saw him go to between separate floors of the store and attempt to hide behind different fixtures while placing the items in a book bag. They also explained that he dropped the book bag right before exiting the store, went outside to check for mall security, then re-entered before attempting to leave again with the merchandise. The items that were taken were valued at $410 and consisted of 5 Nike t-shirts, a Nike hoodie, 2 Nike shorts, and Nike joggers. That's the state's recommendation, and we do ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and identification for the purposes of the plea.
All right. Do you so stipulate, Mr. Ty?
Yes, we stipulate, Your Honor. And I would like to ask for 12 months of probation fees to be waived. He was incarcerated over 30 days. Well over 30 days, and was released just in May 2024.
Okay, I'm not gonna waive the entire time. I will waive 3 months. I have to give him time to get the community service and fine paid. The requirement, they can go non-reporting. All right, Mrs. Spalding, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. You can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
And you understand that taking a guilty plea, you're giving up your right to trial by judge or jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, that's correct.
And you further understand that you cannot go back to that Macy's location. You need to take a course, complete 40 hours of community service and pay a fine, but otherwise you should be released from Fulton County Jail if you don't have other holds?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
All right. As to the charge of theft by shoplifting, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional, Ms. Falk or Mr. Tide?
Nothing.
No,
further.
Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
Judge, just to confirm, you said 3 months of probation waived, correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Position number 47.
All right, 1 second. All right, 47. All right, this is Mr. Whittington.
Yes, it is.
All right, Mr. Whittington, your case is 24 CR 005383G. You're charged with 2 counts of criminal trespass and 1 count criminal trespass and damage to property. You have an absolute right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and I'm conducting this hearing today by video. Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And the announcement I have is that this is a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor. We would
All right.
take instead of 8-way anger management.
Okay. Ms. Falk, please proceed.
This incident happened back on, let's see, July 31st of 2024 at 1800 Howell Mill Road, which is the Piedmont West Medical Center. Officers were dispatched to that location about a defendant who broke into the business. They arrived there and detained the defendant. Security Santrika Langford stated that the defendant damaged the business's front doors yesterday at approximately 3:52 a.m. He entered the property, remained in the lobby, crawling around without the permission of security staff, and used a fire extinguisher to damage the front doors knowingly. The state's recommendation on this case is 12 months served, 56 days, credit for time served, 28 days. That's from July 31st of 2024 till today, balance probated. We are asking for BHET or MHET or 8-week anger management, and it looks like the defense has chosen BHET. Stay away from Piedmont West Medical Park, located at 1800 Howell Mill Road, Northwest in Atlanta, unless for medical treatment. Counts 2 and counts 3 will merge with count 1. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and identification for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
Do you so stipulate, Ms. Kim, and that was your understanding? And you're selecting the BHET?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, Mr. Whittington, please raise your right hand. We'll place you under oath. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
And you understand you're giving up your right to trial by judge or jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're giving up your right to have the state prove this charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand you cannot go back to that location and you're gonna have to undergo some evaluations, but you should not have any additional time served at the Fulton County Jail?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Now,
as to the charge of criminal trespass and damage, how do you plead, Mr. Whittington?
guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional from state or defense?
Nothing further from defense.
Anything?
Nothing from the state.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Whittington. That concludes your case. All right, is there any other position we can go to?
In a moment, we will be ready with position number 22 through 27.
Okay. Are there other announcements in the meantime?
Okay, so since we're waiting, can we address Mr. Position 47? It was a BHET with no anger management, right?
That is correct. I gave them a choice of BHET or anger management. They chose BHET.
Okay.
34, Mr. Reed, Calvin Reed, number 34.
Susie, 34. Okay.
All right, good morning, Mr. Reed. Your case is 24 CR 00561. I'm sorry, 00561J. In this case, you're charged with criminal trespass and possession and use of a drug-related object. You have an absolute right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and I'm conducting this hearing by video. Do you understand all of that this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
I have that this is, thank you, Ms. Reed. I have that this is a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Please proceed, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened on August 10th, 2024 at 486 Ponce de Leon Avenue Northeast, which is the Shell gas station. The defendant entered the property without the owner's consent in violation of multiple criminal trespass warnings, and he was harassing employees and customers on the property near the fuel pumps and standing next to the front door. The officers placed him into custody, and then a drug-related object, which was a glass pipe and metal poker, were recovered from his person. When questioned, he admitted that the object was his crack pipe and that he does in fact smoke cocaine. The state's recommendation on this case is 12 months served, 36 days, credit for time served, 18 days. That's August 10th, 2024 to today. Balance suspended, stay away from the Shell gas station at 486 Ponce de Leon Avenue. Count 2 would be time served, 36 days, credit for time served, 18 days. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea. That's all for the state.
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
All right, and that was your understanding of the offer?
That's it, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Reed, I'm going to ask you some questions to make sure this is voluntary. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am. I just want to get out and contact my wife, but just want to get my checks and going on with my life and stay off that facilitation lot.
Okay. We're going to ask you a few more questions. Are you satisfied with Ms. Kim's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for
No,
taking
ma'am.
a plea? You understand you're giving up your right to trial by judge or jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And you further understand you have to stay away from that Shell gas station.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that taking a guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as employment, immigration, probation, or other matters?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as to the charges previously listed, Mr. Reed, how do you plead?
Guilty. And stay off the lot.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional, Ms. Kim or Ms. Falk?
No, nothing further from defense, Your Honor.
Nothing
right.
from the state.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Reed. That concludes your case. All right.
Next, we have position number 43, Mr. Tyler.
All right, Mr. Tyler, your case is 24 CR 005633E. You're charged with 2 counts of obstruction and 1 count of criminal trespass. You understand, right?
Oh, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I was said you charged. You understand your rights? All right.
Yeah.
What is the announcement for this case, Ms. Kim?
Actually, plead guilty.
Okay, this is a negotiated plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Falk, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened on August 11th, 2024 at 1255 West Peachtree Street in Atlanta. Officers responded to the Lindbergh MARTA station in regards to the defendant possible screaming and yelling on the platform. They made contact with the defendant, asked him if he needed help because they were dispatched because of the screaming and the yelling. The defendant stated he was screaming at himself and didn't need any help from the officer. The defendant then started harassing a female patron who was walking by the officer and the defendant. The defendant then was given a verbal command to exit the station, which he refused. And the officer proceeded to follow the defendant inside the train as the train departed. He told the defendant they were getting off at the next exit, and the defendant stated, "I'm going to Garnett. The only way to get me off this train is to use force." The officer then placed him under arrest, and he was taken into custody. The state's recommendation on this is 12 months served, 34 days, credit for time served, 17 days. Credit for time served from August 11th, 2024 till today. Balance suspended. Stay away from all MRTA. That's per a permanent ban that was in effect per the warrant. Count 2 is time served, 34 days, credit for time served, 17 days. Count 3 merges with count 2. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and identification for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
Do you so stipulate, Ms. Kim, and was that your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Tyler, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
And you understand taking the plea, you're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
And you further understand that taking a guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as employment, probation, or immigration, or things your attorney and I may not be able to anticipate.
Yes, ma'am.
And you further understand that you must stay away from all murder.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
All right, as to the charges previously listed, Mr. Tyler, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional from state or defense?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
All right, hearing none, Mr. Tyler, best of
Nothing from
luck.
the state.
That concludes your case. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I ask a question?
Yeah, good question.
It's just, I'm on here invited on this hearing through a Zoom call, and I need to know if it's because of my brother, Mr. Reed.
We just handled Mr. Reed's case.
Yeah, I
It's
was
on-
invited to this Zoom meeting.
I'll call you and explain what's going on. Mr. Abdul Muhammad.
Yeah, is it because of my brother? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I'll call you.
All right, thank you much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I guess we'll be on a very brief hold.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna send it right now. Thank you.
Judge, I can make a announcement or two if we, while we're waiting.
All right, what are those announcements?
Positions 22 through 27, Magsby,
Uh-huh.
we were waiving that case to state court, waiving appearance and arraignment, so.
Okay, and do you wish to be heard on bond or no?
No, Judge, he has another case that's holding him at this point, so.
Okay,
I would, while we have a minute, make a suggestion. If we're stipulating to a factual basis anyway, maybe we don't need to hear one.
I like to hear it, Mr. White. It helps me.
Okay. Thanks.
That's why I asked that it's brief. I don't ask for everybody to read the warrant to me, but it is helpful for me. And it helps me remind if I had the case before and if I set the previous bond.
Fair enough, Judge.
But I appreciate those suggestions and we'll keep it in mind. All right, so we're waiving.
What was that announcement for 22 through 27?
They're waiving that appearance. Is it gonna be reset jail jury?
Yes,
Brother
Judge.
Lewis?
That's correct.
Okay,
And Your Honor, for the bench warrant calendar, there's one position, he's still trying to get his Zoom to work, but it wasn't working, so I think about an hour and a half ago, he came here and they didn't let him in. So just want to let you know, he is.
is he
fine.
still there?
No, they sent him to 185 Central Avenue. I don't know why. I told him that, he can't get.
And
it
he
to work.
can't figure out the Zoom?
No, he's saying it's not.
He's
working.
gotta figure it out. Cause he got that bench warrant riding around.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, so we'll do that one in a second. All right, it's 11 o'clock, so we can probably do that one. All right, Mr. Shivers, we're gonna take up the DV bench warrant case 21 CR 005432 23B, in which Mr. Shivers was charged with battery family violence back in October of 2021. Who represents this defendant? Is it you, Mr. Ty?
Yes, it's me.
Okay, and Ms. Falk, is there any plea offer on the table at this point?
Not at this point, Your Honor, no.
All right, please proceed.
Your Honor, this is just, I guess we're making a motion to lift the bench warrant.
Of course, I want to know what Ms. Falk's position is.
Oh, our position is the bench warrant should not be lifted. The bench warrant was issued on March 1st of 2024. And there was also a failure to appear. So there was a bench warrant issued then. It looks like the defendant may have been picked up on the bench warrant and then released, and then bench warranted again August 2nd of 2024 at a status conference. It was a second failure to appear. Let me just make sure I'm reading that information right. That is correct. So he bench warranted, let's see. Yes, he bench warranted, and on March 17th, 2024 was picked up on a bench warrant on a $7,000 surety bond, then was released March 22nd, 2024, and then bench warranted again on August 2nd, 2024.
Okay. And Ms. Strong, do you see any return of service, like he didn't get the notices on the file or the docket? Miss- While we're looking for that, Mr. Ty, any response? I know you'd like it lifted. Is there some particular reason why your client failed to appear?
Yes, there is, Your Honor. So there is a return to sender, can't see it on here, but it's return to sender insufficient address. It was sent without a city, a state, and a zip code. And it was sent, even in that case, it was sent to the incident location, which has never been his home. It was the complaining witness's address, and even then, it's the wrong address. So it was sent to 2177 Princeton. That's it. No city, no state, no zip code. And actually her address, from what I see on the booking information, well, not booking, on the Fulton County Jail inmate commitment form, the incident location is 2117 Princeton. And his address is listed here as 2900 Camp Creek Parkway. It has never changed. His mail, for some reason, is being sent. I mean, really, it was sent nowhere. But looked like it was supposed to be sent to where the incident occurred instead of his address, which is here on his booking sheet, and it's in Odyssey 2900 Camp Creek Parkway. So he just hasn't been getting his mail, and he was picked up, and he did spend 7 days in custody and pay a $7,000 FTA bond on that FTA. So I am asking for that to be lifted, and I will send. I guess it's Ms. Strong today, the correct information, although
Do you see the return to services, Ms. Strong?
I do. It does have the 2117 address, and then it looks like Atlanta was written on there, but there is nothing. It just says Princeton with no drive lane, nothing after there. So it is a return to sender.
All right, we'll lift the bench warrant. Mr. Shivers, you are now aware, however, that you have a case. You need to, we will update your address, but you need to be on top of this and continue to check so that you don't miss any future court dates. I advise you to check periodically and make sure that you appear at your next rescheduled appearance. We do not have a date at this time, but I suggest that you make periodic contact with the court to make sure that you don't miss anything else, okay? Mr. Shivers, can you hear me? Oh, all right. So you're gonna keep checking on it.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. I didn't know what it was. It was muted. But
Okay,
yes, I
so
can hear you.
and you're gonna continue to check on your court date, okay? I'm gonna
No
lift the
problem.
bench warrant this time, but don't miss it again. You are aware that this case is pending, so make sure that you are checking on it yourself, all right?
Okay,
All right.
first,
I don't want you to say too much, though. What do you?
Okay.
Okay, just speak to your attorney. The state is still listening and the case is still open. Mr. Ty, will you submit the information to update his address, please?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Shivers, you're free to go at this time. The bench warrant will be lifted.
Okay, thanks.
All right, take care. Who do we have at jail court iPhone?
We have position number 50, Mr. Williamson.
All right, Mr. Williamson, good morning. Your case is 24 CR 005713C. You're charged with criminal trespass and fair evasion. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Falk, please proceed. I think this is a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Please proceed. You're muted, Ms. Falk.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm trying to avoid coughing on the Zoom. So this incident happened August 13th of 2024 at 30 Alabama Street Southwest. The defendant entered the fare gate without paying the required fare at MARTA 5 Points train station. He also had a permanent ban that was issued to him on May 5th of 2023, which is what resulted in the criminal trespass. The state's recommendation is on count 1, the fair evasion is time served, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days from August 13th of 2024 to today. On count 2, the criminal trespass, 12 months served, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days, balance suspended Stay away from all MARTA. That's due to the permanent ban that's in effect per the warrant. We would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
Yes, Your Honor. We stipulate.
All right, and you do stipulate, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, please raise your right hand, Mr. Williamson. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
And you understand by taking the plea, you're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you'll have no further court dates regarding the charges, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that taking a guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as probation, immigration, or things I can't anticipate?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have any holes, do I?
I'm unaware if you have any holes. If you don't have holes, this case, let me finish your questions. You understand that you can't go back to MARTA?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you understand that otherwise the time you've served in Fulton County Jail should close your case?
Say that again, ma'am.
You understand the time you're serving will close your case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as to the charge of fair evasion and criminal trespass, how do you plead, Mr. Williamson?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Now, I don't know if you have other holds, but this case is no longer holding you in. If you don't have other holds, they'll begin processing you out, all right?
All right. Can I ask my lawyer, do I have any holes?
I don't see any hold.
Okay.
No.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Williamson. That concludes your case.
Okay, so I'll be getting released today, right?
I don't know if it'll be today, but they'll start working on it, okay?
But the case is over with, time served?
Yes, case is over with.
Okay, thanks.
All right, best of luck to you. Who do we have next?
I'm sorry. This is a balance suspended.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, down suspended.
We have position number 8 through 11, Mr. Deadweiler.
All right, Mr. Deadweiler, your case is, you have two cases and an FTA. Your case is CR 005650B, and what you're charged with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. And then you have 21 CR 000568B, and what you're charged with theft by taking. And like I said, the other one is an FTA. Do you understand your rights? You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And I'm conducting this hearing by video. You understand all of that?
Yes, I understand.
All right, Ms. Sessiano.
Your Honor, for position 8, this incident happened on November 17th of 2020. Officers responded to 2619 Santa Barbara Drive in reference to a battery. The victim in this case is Tabria Deadweiler. It's the defendant's sister. She told police that the defendant was arguing with his child's mother. She was trying to get him to leave the house, and he slammed her to the ground and began to punch her in the face. The officer noted the victim had injuries to her face. The state's recommending 12 months probation, served 26 days, credit for time served 13 days, balance probated, no further violent contact with Tabria Deadweiler, and no firearms for count 2 would merge with count 1. For position 9, Your Honor, the theft by taking, the state will move to null pros that case, and then positions 10 and 11, those 2 FTAs, the state will move to null pros those cases also. Your Honor, I believe Ms. Deadweiler is on the Zoom, and we'd ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID for purposes of the plea. Thank you.
Do you so stipulate, Mr. Ty?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Deadweiler, you're not required to make a statement, but if you wish to do so, this is your opportunity. I'll just need you to take on your camera and raise your right hand.
Okay, I raise my right hand.
We need to be able to see you. All right, do you swear and affirm that the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell me?
I would like to say that he did not, I don't know how they got a statement from me saying that he punched me in the face and pushed me to the ground. That's not true. but he did, at the incident, he did lock me out of my own house. And that's the only thing that I've reported to our authorities. So the punch in the face and the pushing me to the ground, I don't know where they got that from, but I am asking that they release the victim, that they release him and that we're on good terms, that we resolved our issues through mediation.
All right. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement, Ms. Deadweiler. All right.
Okay.
All right. Please raise your right hand, Mr. Deadweiler. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah, ma'am.
All right. You can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
I can't hear you.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation today?
Yeah.
Did anyone
Yeah, right.
force? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, yeah, she did great.
Oh, good. Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No,
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
no,
And you further understand that taking a guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as probation, employment, immigration, anything of that nature?
yes,
And you understand the conditions, no further violent contact with your sister and no firearms?
yes.
All right, as to the charges as to the charge of battery family violence, how do you plead, Mr. Deadweiler?
Yes.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional, Ms. Despiano or Ms. Attai?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
Sorry, so just to confirm, 9, 10, and 11 are now crossed.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is it over with?
It's over.
So what do I wait on my public defender to come in and sign some papers or something?
Well, they're gonna start processing you out, but these cases are no longer holding you in as long as you don't have other holds, okay?
All right.
Next, we have positions number 35 through 38.
Okay, Mr. Smith, you are 35 through 38. All right, so 35 is 23 CR 001780A, and what you're charged with battery, family violence, and cruelty in the third. Then you have 23 CR 004955A, and what you're charged with battery, simple battery, and 3 counts of cruelty in the third. And the other 2 cases are FTAs. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes.
All right, the announcement I have is that we're resetting for a not guilty plea. Is that still correct, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you wish to be heard on bond?
Held on bond? I can't see
No,
bond.
not you, sir. Not you, sir. Ms. Kim, any other announcement?
Yes, we would like to request for a reduction of the bond amount. Right now, it's $17,500, and we want that to be reduced.
Okay. Ms. Tyson, can I hear his history, please?
Sure. We have 6 arrest cycles beginning in 2009. Looks like his last arrest was, let's see, Union City, August 13th of 2023, for fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. No dispositions listed on the GCIC for that case. He was arrested on a FTA as well. Let's see. It doesn't appear that he has any felony convictions, Your Honor. Nothing to add.
All right, Ms. Paul.
Yes, Your Honor. So currently he has a couple of FTAs. He actually has an FTA on these 2 cases. The one ending in 4955A has a $5,000 surety bond. The one ending in 1780A has a $2,000 surety bond. And then he has a 23 CP 220951 case where he received a $7,500, $8,500 surety bond for failure to appear. That was a driving, fleeing, or eluding, reckless driving, willful obstruction of an officer. And then he has the failure, he has a rearrest for the battery, family violence, and the cruelty to children, $1,000 surety bond on each of those. So I will say it does seem that there is a duplicative surety bond. There's a $2,000 surety bond, it looks like, in the jail system for the rearrest on the battery, family violence, cruelty to children under 23 CR 001780. And then there's a failure to appear on that same case with the $2,000 surety bond. And so I would agree that instead of, looks like there's a total of a $9,000 surety bond when you look in the jail screen. So I would agree that should be 7,000 because the two of the cases are the same case. One is the FTA and one is the rearrest on that case. But the defendant has two open cases with us where he did fail to appear. The first one involved a incident on March 13th, 2023, where he got into a physical altercation with where Genesis Coley stated that her mother, Nicole Coley, and her boyfriend, the defendant, became involved in a physical altercation. The officers made contact with Miss Coley, who was sitting down next to her bedroom door, observed swelling on her left eye and discoloration around her left eye. She stated that the defendant had struck her, had come inside of her home and assaulted her, and that's how she ended up with those injuries. So that was the first case. The second case, the incident happened on November 6th of 2021. That case also involved Genesis Coley, Heaven Coley, and Legacy Smith. Miss Coley stated that, let's see, that if she had a cut around her finger, she stated that they were arguing and the defendant had struck her and had a cut around her finger. The defendant then said he did not strike her, but based on the injuries to the victim, he was arrested for that offense. So there are two cases involving Miss Nicole Coley, which is why we are disagreeing with the fact that he should get a lower bond, especially based on the fact he's a failure to appear not only on our cases, but on a felony case. We did have an opportunity to speak with the victim. She was in agreement with our plea offer. We would like to sound for her at this time. So if we could sound for Nicole Coley, we would ask the bond remain set at 7,000 due to his failing to appear on both of our cases as well as the felony case.
All right. Is Ms. Coley present? All right, hearing none. Before I go to Ms. Kim, let's clarify. So the two FTAs on the calendar also have the same bond set on those as well?
So one of the FTAs has the same bond set, not both. So on one FTA, there is a bond of, let's see, on the FTA associated with 4955A, there's a bond of $5,000 set. On the FTA associated with case 1780A, there's a $2,000.
Your Honor, I am present. I don't know why I can't speak on, it won't let me get off speaker.
Okay, give me 1 second. You can turn on your camera. You'll have to figure out how so we can see you, okay? Give us 1 second. So on the calendar, Ms. Falk, position 37, is that the one ending, is that the one associated with position 35? Because I know what's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna have to, if I do amend it, change the bond order based on.
Let me see if I can find out which one that FTA is associated with.
Okay.
So if you'll just give me a moment.
I'll give you a moment. Ms. Coley, if you'd like to make a statement, please turn on your camera. We have to be able to identify you, okay?
I'm not understanding why I cannot get it turned on. I don't understand.
We need you to try to figure it out, okay?
What we can talk about this bond, I'm not gonna be able to pay the bond anyway. Can I take probation? Something. I'm trying to get this out of the way within 2 years.
Would you like to speak to your attorney again?
Yes.
Yeah,
Can,
there's no way for me to get it. I can't get it. I don't know, understand why it won't let me unmute my. Hold
You're
on.
not muted. We can hear you.
It won't let me do it.
All right,
Okay.
can the jail clerk give, can he give Miss Kim a call at the phone? Is there a way to give Miss Kim a call? Probably not from jail court iPhone, is there?
No, I would have to come off the Zoom to call
Okay, can we, and who's in courtroom 2 with you? Is courtroom 2 clear? Miss Kim, other than defense attorneys, is courtroom 2 clear?
Very clear.
Okay, can we put jail court iPhone very briefly in a breakout with Miss Kim?
Sure.
Hi, Francois, how are you?
Ms. Strong, Ms. Gray, Michael, will somebody please put, Mrs. Jordan, will you put courtroom 2 in the breakout with, the iPhone, please?
Yeah, yeah, no. That's it. Hopefully that all went okay.
That's the breakout gonna happen. Ms. Strong, you there?
I think Miss Grace is trying to do it.
Trying to do it, okay, so make sure somebody heard me. And Ms. Coleman, please hold on, I'll let you speak in one moment.
Hopefully there's not too many.
All right.
Put courtroom 2 and the jail iPhone in the breakout, not medical and the iPhone.
Ms. Strong, are they able to do it? Ms. Grace?
Mr. Jordan is taking care of it now.
Take it. Ms. Kim is in there. Can we put the jail iPhone in there?
I'm working on it, Judge. The settings were off on here, so I'm waiting for it to actually close the room. It's still counting down
Okay,
to close out.
that's okay, I just make sure somebody's trying.
Yeah, so it's about to close in 1 second.
That will be on a very brief hold.
Your Honor, when they come back, will I be able to speak?
Yes. Ms. Strong, can we check on the breakout to see if they're getting close to being done?
Sure.
Thank
She
you.
is, Your Honor, she is communicating with me via email. So they
Okay.
she is talking to her client because she just sent me 2 email messages to ask me some questions.
Okay, who is at medical?
Position number 41, Mr. Stitch Cone.
Okay,
And he belonged to Miss Cam as well.
right, I was figuring that was what the case was.
Will you
Miss-
speak with me? I
Hold
didn't
on.
hear.
What, no,
What you just.
please hold. Ms. Kim, you have a different announcement now?
Now he's willing to plead guilty as long as he can be released since balance will be suspended. That's the way I understood. I want to make sure, yeah, that's the way you understood, right?
No, the balance is, he is on 12 months probation because of
Okay.
the FBIP.
Okay, he's accepting that, Your Honor.
So that's what he wants to do, so this is now a plea?
Right, so that way he can close the case, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Coley, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today be true to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Coley? Oh. The night is fraught with many terrors. Ms. Coley, are you present again? She's gone now.
I don't see her, Your Honor. She was
Oh.
iPhone 6 and I don't see her.
I know. It's just.
I spoke to her yesterday. She did not want to press charges against my clients. And she does not believe that he should be going through this so much. So that was her opinion.
Okay.
That's interesting because our victim advocate, well, she's here, so she can speak for
Okay,
herself.
Ms. Coley, please raise your right hand and speak quickly. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? Oh, please figure that. Ms. Coley, do you have on a shirt? Please put a shirt on. All right, Ms. Falk, and while we're waiting for Ms. Coley, what is the new recommendation? Will you please put
So
on
the
the record?
recommendation isn't new, Your Honor. I mean, it's the same recommendation, which is on count one, on the cruelty to child in the third degree. It's 12 months consecutive to count two, 12 months probation consecutive to count two. FVIP, we will remove the 40 hours of community service. No further violent contact with Nicole Coley and no firearms. Count two is 365 days to serve, credit for time served 206 days, which would,
Right.
2 for 1 would end his jail time. And on the second case, it would be 12 months probation concurrent with the previous case that I just listed. Count two, 12 months concurrent with count one. Count three, we are entering a null pros, and count four will merge with count one. So he would have 12 months. Basically, all that he would have remaining is 12 months probation, FVIP, no further violent contact with Nicole Coley, and no firearms.
All right, Ms. Coley, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, what would you like to tell me?
From my understanding, the incident that you're we're speaking of about how I had a bruise on my left eye. It says on the report that it was a unidentified male. They made an assumption that it was him, and he wasn't even there at the moment. He had went to the store and came back, and I got assaulted by a guy in the neighborhood. My children were not didn't witness anything. It just all happened periodically where I had called for help. The police officers were trying to ask me questions. I said, I don't want to answer any questions at the moment. I don't even know the man's name. I just knew him as D. I didn't even know they put him in Montez in custody until I was in the hospital. And then I'm like, how does this all happen? Because nobody listened to anything anybody said.
All right, I appreciate you coming to court making a statement. Ms. Kim, do you stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue? And are we moving forward with the plea today?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
All right, Mrs. Smith, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? He's muted. Can we unmute him? Can we unmute him at jail court iPhone? Ooh. All right, thank you. Are you under the you swearing affirm testimony you give today be the truth?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you set you understand you're giving up your right to trial by judge or by jury?
Yes.
And you further understand that you're giving up your right to have the state prove this charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
And you understand that you have to take a family violence course, have no further violent contact with Ms. Coley, and have no firearms?
Yes.
As to the charges I previously discussed with you, Mrs. Smith, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything additional, Ms. Kim?
Nothing further. We just want to make sure that balance is probated and he does not have to serve anymore.
That is correct.
That's what the state said. So the time he serves should close the case, and then he'll be on probation for a year.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything additional, Ms. Falk?
Nothing from the state.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to go to the position at medical.
Number 41.
All right, Mr. Stinchcomb, your case is 24 CR 005666F. You're charged with criminal trespass. You understand your rights today? Mrs. Stinchcomb?
For the Stinchcomb you all looking for.
You.
No, listen,
Do you
I'm not
understand?
Richard Stinchcomb. My name is
What's-
Ron.
Your name is what?
Ronald Stinchcomb.
Okay, do we have the right defendant on the calendar today?
They probably just accidentally put the name wrong on the thing because he was in that same the location where Ronald was housed. What is
Okay,
your name?
so the person on the calendar is Richard Stinchcomb, and he's saying this is not him. Do we have the wrong defendant?
I will
Ronald
s-
Stinchcomb. I'm not Richard Stinchcomb.
Right. I will say, Your Honor, the picture on the jail screen matches this defendant if you look him up in the jail screen, and it does say AKA Ronald Lee Stinchcomb.
Okay.
That's me. Not Richard.
All right, sir, what is your birthday?
April 15, 1959.
Okay, so that's the right birthday. So we'll move forward. Mrs. Stinchcomb, you understand your rights today?
Listen, I'm not Richard Stinchcomb. I'm
We
Ronald
understand. Okay, yes, Mr. Stinchcomb, do you understand your rights? Is that a yes?
I'm gonna take him back because I'm not gonna fight with him. I'm gonna take him
I
back.
don't think he wishes to take this plea today. We're gonna reset his case 1 week SAP. Miss Kim, you can speak with him and see if there's any further development, okay?
Sure.
And
Reset.
Your Honor, I will, Miss Kim, if he agrees with the facts of the case, that this was in fact the same person at the barbecue kitchen, it sounds like I just need to amend the accusation and put AKA Ronald Stinchcomb so that it's clear that he was arrested under a different name.
Sure.
All right, so
Okay.
reset 1 week SAP.
Thank you.
Are we complete? No, we have some more. Let's see. Is there an announcement for 12 and 13? 12 was released.
13 was a waiver, Judge.
Okay. And are we holding a bond hearing or no?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, waiver arraignment. 14 and 15 has made bond. Are we holding on anybody else? Oh, Miss McLeod's person, will they be brought today?
We don't have any deputies in the courtroom now. There is one that I have an issue with. John Tavis,
I
Dr.
just saw that where they said they can't find him, may be released. That's problematic. Was he located yet?
We looked him up in Odyssey and supposedly he's here on the 3rd floor. So we were gonna ask to have him brought down. I was here, they couldn't locate him. They told me he was released and they're like, oh, we're not sure. Then he's in intake. And I'm like, there's no way he's still in intake after being at the jail for 2 weeks. So, but eventually it looks like they have located him on the 3rd floor.
Okay, so somebody's walking with the phone. Maybe they're headed to him now. Let's hope. What about position 44? That one, that's Miss McLeod's case.
It's Miss
that we have
McLeod's case.
that she has not been able to interview yet, so we're holding on that. And 48.
48, the state
upgraded.
is, yeah, the state is still waiting to receive the signed order from the DA's office.
Okay.
So we would ask to reset it 1 week, just so that we can make sure to keep it on our radar. And once we get the signed order, we'll forward it to the clerk's office.
Okay. So we're gonna hold briefly to see if they're able to get us Ms. McLeod's position and Mr. Mitchell. And if not, we'll reset Mr. Mitchell 1 week.
Judge, we would like to get to him today. It is a time served, balance suspended offer.
I agree. I want to get to him too. Hopefully they can find him.
Or the state could just null process and say we're gonna
Ms. Salter, you're gonna
make
present an
everybody's
offer.
life a lot easier.
Let's see if we can find him first.
Mr. White is full of suggestions for how we can be more efficient today.
They're all very good too, Judge.
Mm-hmm. Sounds a lot like when they call me little girl. All right, we'll be on a brief hold.
God forbid anybody using pragmatism. Stuck my head around each corner and kind of look down the hallways and.
I'm ready. Is there any positions we can take at the jail?
Your Honor, I have spoken to Mr. Watson and he's ready for a non-negotiated plea.
All right, where is Mr. Watson?
I think he was on the floor somewhere. I spoke to him on the telephone.
Okay, well, we're still on hold. I think they're making their way to him. And then Ms. Falk, any thoughts on that null price of the other gentleman we might not be able to find?
No, state's still holding for him.
Okay, all right. Is this Mr. Watson?
I'm sorry.
Yes, this is Mr. Watson.
All right, good morning, Mr. Watson. Your case is 24 CR 005315J. In this case, you are charged with battery. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, I do.
All right, because it's non-negotiated, Ms. Tyson, are you still with us? Can I have Mr. Watson's history at position 45? If not, Ms. Falk, can you give it to us?
I can, Your Honor. So Mr. Watson has, let's see, currently has 3 cycles, burglary in the first degree where he received 5 years probation on February 12th of 2024. That was out of DeKalb County Superior Court. Let's see. And position 1 and 2 were arrests on December 3rd, 2022 and December 5th of 2022 out of DeKalb County for criminal trespass. Let's see. He also has our current case where he is charged with loitering and prowling, criminal trespass, simple assault, and then simple battery. The incidents happened as follows, and I will start with the previous case, which is the loitering and prowling criminal trespass and simple assault. That incident happened on July 24th of 2024. And in that case, the defendant was found loitering and prowling at the address of 551 Sunset Avenue Northwest. They received calls of a suspicious person. Officer Miss Ramclam stated that and showed video footage of the defendant arriving on her front porch after her husband had left for work, opening the screen door and then leaning his leg and back foot in an attempt to kick the front door, when the defendant then heard Mr. Ramclam's golden retriever barking and a car drive past. He then stated "damn" and ran down the street. She had recorded this on her Ring doorbell camera and showed that to the officer, which was the basis for the loitering and prowling, the simple assault, in that she feared for her safety, and the criminal trespass. The state's recommendation as to that case was 12 months served, 90 days, credit for time served 34 days from July 24th, 2024 to today, balance probated, stay away from 551 Sunset Avenue Northwest, Atlanta. No further contact with Sharika, and it's Ramciam, Ramciam. We did speak with her and she does agree with the plea offer, although she stated she will not be on Zoom today. The second case that Mr. Watson was involved in was an incident that happened at the jail. So while the defendant was at the jail, after he was arrested on this loitering and prowling, he attacked another inmate, Jonathan Hoyer, Hover, Hawver, inside his cell, and left him with open lacerations on his upper right eyelid and left cheek area. The state's recommendation is to that case is the same: 12 months served, 90 days, credit for time served 34 days from July 25th of 2024 to today, balance probated, no further contact with Jonathan Hover, and 12 weeks anger management. The reason the state recommended a 90-day to serve, Your Honor, is due to the fact the defendant was just sentenced in February for that burglary in the first degree. And although this was charged as a loitering and prowling, the fact that he was literally entering her home and in the process of entering her home when he heard her dog and then took off running, we feel like this was essentially a criminal attempt to commit burglary that was charged as a misdemeanor. That's all for the state.
All right, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. I have spoken with my client's father. In fact, I've spoken to him on more than one occasion, and he tells me that he is very concerned for his son's health in the jail. His son has some pretty significant learning disabilities, Your Honor, and it's a little bit a mild diagnosis of MH. And that tells me that he is very vulnerable in jail, and he's very, very concerned and wants to get him out. And the reason why this is a non-negotiated plea, Your Honor, is that he's already spent 34 days, and I was hoping the court would consider allowing him to get out now, for it to be the time served portion to be 34 days instead of 45. I didn't think that was unreasonable given what he's charged with, Your Honor, and also the fact that he has already spent 34 days and he has no significant criminal history. On the 3 cycles, I believe it was said, and considering his circumstances, just based on what I've discussed with Dad, I don't know if Dad is on the Zoom. He had said he would try to get on today, Your Honor, to speak about that. So that's the reason why the plea is not negotiated. We are okay with the other aspects of it. But if it could be time served for the 34 days.
I'm gonna think about that. Let me sound for Sharika Ramclam or Ramciam, perhaps. Are you present and wish to make a statement? All right, I'm sounding now for Jonathan Hawver. I'm not.
Your Honor, he was incarcerated at the time of the incident.
Okay, understood. All right. And is defendant's father on the Zoom? I would hear from him briefly.
I hope so. Yeah, I sent him the link.
Okay, under Ms. Falk, under your recommendation, he would have an additional, how much longer to serve?
So he served 34 days already, so I believe it would be another 11 days. And again, that's due to the fact that we're bundling these cases. Two, he just got sentenced for burglary in the first degree back in February.
All right, if he takes the plea, I'll allow him to serve at the time served. I'll accept the defense's recommendation. Would you like to take the plea today, sir?
Yes.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today be true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, I am not.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, I do.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No.
And you understand taking a plea, you give up your rights to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, I do.
And you further understand that taking a guilty plea may affect employment, probation, and other aspects of life that we may not be able to anticipate?
Yes, I do.
And you understand the requirements that you have to take anger management courses. However, I'm not going to require you to serve the additional time at the Fulton County Jail. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right, as to the charges previously listed, Mr. Mitchell, how do you plead? I'm sorry, not Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Watson, how do you plead?
I plead guilty.
All right, if I accept your guilty plea, is there anything additional, Ms. Falk or Ms. McLeod?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
So what is his time, Judge?
Whatever works out
34
the time
days.
served. Is he served 34, so 34 times 2? So what's
Okay.
68?
Okay, next question before we move on. Position number 36 has 5 charges, not 4. Mrs. Smith. So can we readdress?
Are you gonna null cross the other one, Ms. Falk?
Position 36?
Yes.
Yeah, he has 5 counts. It's 2 counts of I'm sorry, I'm not reading this right. It's battery, 3 counts of cruelty, and 1 count of simple.
Yeah, we did null cross the cruelty, the count.
Oh, I'm sorry, I must have
4, and I sent that null cross over with the other forms.
wait.
The felony was not crossed.
Correct.
I don't know how I got charged.
Wait, say it again, because I think okay, so
The
he
felony cruelty to child in the first degree was null crossed, and I sent that null cross over when I sent over the null crosses on the FTAs. I sent it over about 20 minutes ago. You should have it in your email.
Okay.
All right, does that clear it up or no?
Judge,
I got it.
we just had somebody come back from the floor, the deputy. They're saying that position 31, Mr. Mitchell, has been released. I saw our information in the system, so I guess we just asked to reset him to Thursday to try to make sure.
Just to make sure. That makes sense. We'll put him on Thursday. Hey, can we reset Mr. Mitchell to Thursday SAP as an add-on just to make sure he's actually released?
Okay.
All right, I believe that concludes the calendar. Ms. Strong, when you finish, can we review it?
Sure, let me just update Mr. Mitchell real quickly. Position number 1 was a plea. Position number 2 was null pros. Position number 3 was a plea. Position number 4 was null pros. 5 was a plea. 6 was a plea. 7 was null pros. 8 was a plea. 9 and 10 null pros. 11 null pros. 12 release, reset further notice. 13 waive the arraignment, reset jail jury. 14 was release. 15 release. 16 was a plea. 17 and 18 were a plea. 19 was null pros. 20 was a plea. 21 was null pros. 22 was waived. 23, 24 were waived. 25 and 26 waived. 27 waived. 28 was a plea. 29 was waived. 30 was an amended bond. I just want to make sure that it was 1,000 on each charge, right? For a $3,000 surety.
Sorry, what number?
30. It was an amended bond, but I believe you said 1,000 on each charge is what you were amending it to, correct?
I don't remember. Does anybody else remember? I just wrote down bond amends. I did not
I
write it.
have bond reduced to $3,000 surety bond, 1,000 per count.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Paul.
And he was also, I'm sorry, he was also being reset to Thursday with the other additional charges, even with the amended bond, correct?
That is correct.
That's correct. I have that part.
Okay. 31 and 32 are reset for Thursday's SAP calendar. 33 was null pros. 34 was a plea. 35 was a plea. 36 was a plea. 37 and 38 were null pros. 39 was a plea. 40 was null pros. 41 was reset for next Tuesday's SAP calendar. 42.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting, but Richard didn't come. I mean, if he accepts the plea, he can be released today. When I was interviewing him yesterday, he told me that he would take the plea and he was very fine. So I kind of don't want him to stay until next week.
I understand, but he was arguing and didn't want to cooperate, Ms. Kim. Do you think you're gonna be able to get him cooperate in the next few minutes?
I hope so. I have to ask officer.
You can ask them if they're willing to bring him quickly. Who is this at medical?
Mitchell.
I thought Mitchell was released. Okay.
No, actually, they had him on the pull sheet as Miller. The name was totally different.
Okay.
Officer Blunt, would it be possible to ask Mr. Richards to come so he can be released?
I just said they had him on the paper.
No, not this guy. They're asking to bring back the other gentleman.
No, ma'am, I'm not gonna bring him back because I'm not gonna fight with him. He's on the medical floor. No, ma'am.
Okay, well, there was that.
He already didn't even want to put the jumpsuit on when I got the guy. No, I'm not gonna fight with him.
Hey, Blunt, can you have him call? I wasn't able to speak with him because nobody's been able to find him until now. So can he call?
No, we can put you in a breakout. We can do the breakout since nobody else is there. Can we put courtroom 2 in a breakout with medical?
Yes, ma'am. You want
medical in courtroom 2. But before we do that, I don't object to a plea in abstention, Ms. Kim, if you want to try to walk over there and try to argue with him yourself. I don't know. I'm just coming up with dynamic solutions.
I'll be happy to do that, plea in absentia. Yes, I can go up.
But he's got to sign and agree and all that. I don't know how that's going to work, but you can try. Ms. Falk, do you object to a plea in abstention?
I don't.
Okay, so I'm gonna give Ms. Kim a few minutes to try. We'll put courtroom 2 and then break out with medical in the meantime.
Okay.
And I apologize. I'm not trying to be difficult at the jail. We're just trying to clear him out. He would get out today and you all wouldn't have to be bothered with how he's acting any
I
longer.
actually think he don't want to leave because he's homeless. The man, when I've been to get him twice, he put up a fight with me. So I'm not gonna fight with him to bring him.
No, I don't want you to fight. I want you to be safe and we don't want to put you in jeopardy. I was just trying to clear him out of the jail if I could, okay?
All right. breakout room with medical?
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. White. We're not moving fast enough for you. Here we go. Ms. Strong, want to continue the calendar? We can keep reviewing.
I didn't know if I was supposed to wait.
We can keep, no, those who can release, we could release so that they can have some lunch and we can keep going.
Okay, I forgot what number I was on.
It was 42.
I don't feel like people give Judge Morrow and Judge Law the same level of this. All right.
42 was an amended bond, a $1,000 good bond. Position 43 was a plea. Position 44 was a plea. I guess 45 was a plea too.
45 was a plea.
Charges?
Yeah, he
Yes,
took a plea
that
to
is correct.
both.
He took a plea to both.
Oh, okay. 46 was a plea. 47 was a plea. 48 is reset for next Tuesday's ASAP calendar, awaiting transfer. 49 and 50 were a plea. And the bench warrant was set aside and the add-on calendar
Is
was
reset.
set for Thursday.
All right, any changes, comments, corrections, or questions to the calendar? All right, Mr. White, your announcement?
Judge, we're entering a negotiated plea.
Okay. All right, Ms. Falk, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened at the Chevron gas station located at 890 Cleveland Avenue in East Point. The defendant had been told to stay away from that location on a previous criminal trespass and had returned to that location despite the previous criminal trespass warning. And so he was placed under arrest. This incident happened on July 10th of 2024. The previous criminal trespass was May 6th, 2023. The state's recommendation is 12 months served, 20 days, credit for time served, 10 days from July 11th to July 12th of 2024, and then August 20th of 2024 to today, balance suspended. Stay away from the Chevron gas station located at 890 Cleveland Avenue in East Point. We are entering a null process to position 32. The state would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
So stipulate. Thank you. Mr. Mitchell, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No.
You understand that you cannot go back to that gas station if you take a plea today?
Yes.
You further understand that you're not going to have any further trials by judge or jury if you take a plea?
Yes.
And you understand that taking a guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life?
Yes.
As to the charge of criminal trespass, Mr. Mitchell, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea at this time. If there's nothing further, that concludes your case.
All
right. All right. We're going to hold for Ms. Kim for about 10, 15 minutes at most. Everyone else who does not have to be here is free to go at this time while we hold. Thank you all for your patience this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Falk.
Yes, Ms. Strong.
So I just want to make sure that I might be confusing myself. Well, with Mr. Smith. Let me see that. Right. So the null process for she null process the cruelty. That's the one I had. Right. There's So is it a battery and 3 cruelties in a simple battery?
Let me go back and look at the
That's what it says in the system, and I'm just I don't think the Senate sheet is right, so I guess now I'm confused completely because I want to make sure I have it right.
Oh, let me go back and look. Hold on just a second. Let me see.
So I need to put cruelty here. Okay,
Because,
okay, great. Could you do me-
okay. So what I'm showing is he had 1 count of battery, 3 counts of cruelty to children, and 1 count of simple battery. So what we did on that case, which is position 36, was we did 12 months concurrent with the previous case, 23 CR 001780A on the battery. On the first count of cruelty to children, we did 12 months concurrent with count 1. On the second count of cruelty to children, okay, that was my fault. So there is, I ordered this wrong on the cheat sheet that I sent you. So count 2 and count 3, the cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, should be 12 months concurrent with count 1. Count 4, the cruelty to children in the 1st degree, is the one we're null crossing. And count 5 will merge with count 1. So count 5 is the simple battery, which is based on the same thing that the battery is based on. So it's going to merge with that count. So I just renumbered it and I missed one of the numbers. So that's on me.
Okay.
And so that's what, so that should make it work on your Senate sheet.
Okay, now I have to redo the Senate sheet, but it was
off
completely, but thank you.
My apologies. And I'll send you the how it should have looked. I missed it. Like I said, I missed that one.
No, I have it now. I have it.
Okay.
As
Got
long as and you said the null cross for 1. So no, I'm fine.
Yeah. Okay. Cool beans. Thanks.
And Mrs. Ty, you did hear that you are released if you don't have any other business. We're just waiting on Miss Kim. You are free, of course, to remain with us. However, I didn't want you to have to stay if you didn't.
Thank you.
Wish-
I did have one question while we're waiting, for the DV bench warrant, and this is a question. I emailed Ms. Strong, and but I think he has more than one FTA on that, so I wanted to include all FTA cases on the bench warrant order, but I only see one FTA.
Okay, Ms. Strong will take a look for us.
Mrs. Howard, what are you looking at that you feel like he has more than one?
Actually, I found it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be on a brief hold.
Your Honor, I was able to get his signature and he consented to, plea deal and he wants to be released.
Okay, so if you'll send over that paperwork, Ms. Falk, again, on the record, no objection to the plea in absentia.
No objection.
All right, we can send it over for my signature. We'll begin processing him out.
Yes, thank you.
And I did just to, I am sending over the amended accusation with his name is Ronald Stinchcomb, aka Richard Stinchcomb. So that way, you know, it can clarify it going forward.
Sounds good.
Thank
All
you.
right, we are now in recess until Thursday's SAP calendar. Take care, everyone, and have a great afternoon.
Your Honor,
Bye-bye.
are you on Thursday's SIP?
I will be back with you on Thursday.
Great. We'll see you then. Hopefully I won't sound like this. All right.
Hopefully, I feel better, Ms. Falk. Lots of tea. Take care,
Thank you.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Bye.
Only 12:15. I know, this is amazing. You like it. I love it. I was like, whoa. Alrighty, I'm gonna get going.